What's up guys and welcome to another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Trivia. This week we're doing another archetype and it is the Gimmick Puppet archetype. So the Gimmick Puppets are an archetype of machine type monsters that were used by Quattro in the Yu-Gi-Oh! Zexal anime. The archetype's main goal is to summon their level 8 monsters in order for them to exceed summon their boss monsters. Now, how does this archetype play? Well, the Gimmick Puppet monsters don't have high attack, but they have effects ranging from stalling, swarming, and even summoning to the opponent's side of the field. Their main strategy is to take advantage of the opponent's monsters with high attack to deal effect damage with their boss monsters. Number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strings and number 15 Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder. As well with number 88 Gimmick Puppet of Leo, this monster offers an alternate strategy to victory with its unique effect. So how about we talk about the monsters? First up, Gimmick Puppet Des Troy. This monster is based on the Trojan horse, as its body is composed of dolls of Greek soldiers. Its effect also easily reflects this, as it brings out other gimmick puppets to the field, much like how the actual Trojan horse brought the Greeks behind Troy's wall. As well, the monster's name itself is a pun on the word destroy. So, Destroy, you see? You get it? Get it? So far, this is the only Gimmick Puppet card to be printed in the common rarity in the TCG. Gimmick Puppet Dreary Doll. This monster is featured in the artwork of Junk Puppet. So I used to do a series called Artwork Changes, where I took the international version of a card and its original Japanese form and basically compared them to see what the changes they went through after they were released internationally. And this was one of the cards that was in there because it used to have a bloody stain on its head, implying that it'd either been shot in the head or it'd been killed because it was in a coffin. So yeah, it was pretty grim. As well, the box that she was in, it started out as a coffin and it became a present box. So if you want to see more of these artwork changes, then here's a link to the series anyway. This monster is extremely similar to the doll Dark Necrophia is holding. It even has a hole in the head where this monster has a bandage. Gimmick Puppet Egghead, also known in the Japanese as Gimmick Puppet Bomb Egg. So the appearance of this card has a very similar look to the character Humpty Dumpty from English nursery rhymes. However, there is another card in this archetype called Humpty Dumpty, so it's kind of weird that they have two egg-shaped cards. So I don't know, just an odd coincidence maybe. This monster has the highest attack out of all of the main deck Gimmick Puppet monsters, not including any of the extra deck monsters. Gimmick Puppet Gear Changer. This card's name is similar to that of another card called Gear Changer. Also, both cards are based on gears with effects that involve changing levels. Gimmick Puppet Humpty Dumpty. So this is the other card that is based on the English nursery rhyme character Humpty Dumpty, except since this one is actually called Humpty Dumpty, this one kind of makes sense to be the actual Humpty Dumpty monster. So yeah, there you go. Now, I don't know if this is a universally, culturally known sort of rhyme. So, like, for example, if you're in America, have you ever heard the Humpty Dumpty rhyme? If not, this is pretty much how it goes. Humpty Dumpty sat on a wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again. Gimmick Puppet Magnet Doll. So this card appears in the artworks of Puppet Ritual, Card of Puppets, and Shade of Strings. Gimmick Puppet Nightmare. This card's appearance is kind of like a mangled amalgamation of like several dolls, with two of its heads on the top and bottom, with their eyes being covered by the other dolls. This is really like quite weird archetype, really. It's freaky. Gimmick Puppet Scissor Arms. So this card is most likely modelled upon Edward Scissorhands, the main character of the Tim Burton movie. The similarities are both wear nearly identical black gothic outfits, which are tight-fitting, studs and buckles. They both are artificial humanoids, and they both have scissors attached in place of their hands. In fact, despite this monster's name being Scissor Arms, the only scissor elements of its body appear where its hands would normally be. Gimmick Puppet Shadow Feeler. This card gives me human centipede vibes, so I think we should just move on. Gimmick Puppet Twilight Joker. So this card has a very jester-like appearance whilst wielding a very Grim Reaper-esque scythe. Also notice his malformed arm. It's upside down. Now for the boss monsters, number 15, Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder, also known in the Japanese as Giant Killer. So this is the first rank 8 number monster, and although it is difficult to see, the number 15 can be seen on this monster's headband. This is the first number monster to have a larger version of its number in its background artwork, this card's sealed form resembles a pulsating heart made out of limbs coiled together. When the sealed form unfolds itself, the outside opens up to reveal the moving gears which connects together and start while the puppet controller uses the strings on the puppet to lift the body up to generate the puppet's movements. In its sealed form, this monster represents the only thing it lacks while in its unsealed form: a heart. In fact, its chest is hollow and it fills it with the monsters destroyed by its effect, as if it were trying to fill the void. When this monster detaches an Xyz material, it absorbs it through its headband. And when this card uses its effect, it lifts up its arms and then shoots numerous puppet strings from its two palms at an opponent's monster. The monster is then dragged forward to this monster's chest, which opens up and places them into a grinder before a cannon-like object protrudes from its chest to fire a red-coloured energy blast at the opponent. In this card's anime artwork, there is a clear view of the crane and pulleys that move Giant Grinder, as well as a purple curtain on its right, which could be a reference to when the curtain parts before a puppet show begins. This monster appears in the artworks of Celestial Strings and Gimmick Vengeance, and this card's attack name in both the Japanese version and the dub is Final Dance, with its effect name being Destruction Cannon. Number 40, Gimmick Puppet of Strings, also known as Heaven Strings in the Japanese. As with most of the other Xyz monsters, when this monster absorbs an overlay unit, it absorbs it through its sword. When this monster activates its effect, it plays the strings on its chest with its sword like a harp. Then, red glowing puppet strings come down from a portal and attach to every monster on the field. This card, like number 15, Gimmick Puppet Giant Grinder, and number 33, Anomaly Maku Mech, are the first numbers seen to not be obtained either by Astral or Kite, even after their owners have been defeated. The number 40 can be seen on the top of this monster's wing, and this card is the first Xyz monster to use counters of any kind. Number 88, Gimmick Puppet of Leo. So this is the strongest non-chaos Gimmick Puppet monster in terms of attack, being surpassed only by Gimmick Puppet of Dark String and its own number C counterpart. This card reflects Quattro's personality. Lions are known to have a calm, majestic appearance while at rest, but can be ruthless and bloodthirsty when hunting. Similarly, Quattro disguises himself as a well-mannered man who interacts with people with a noble and polite demeanour when not dueling, but becomes sadistic and cold when he is, especially against anyone who stands in his way. This card's effect and appearance are somewhat the opposite of Giant Grinder and Puppet of Strings. While most Gimmick Puppet monsters have somewhat disturbing and grotesque appearances, this card looks more righteous and benevolent. Also, unlike Giant Grinder and Puppet of Strings, this card does not involve destroying monsters or inflicting damage to the opponent. Instead, this card involves winning through a peaceful method. This card shares many similarities with King Landia the Gold Fang. Both are rank 8 Xyz monsters that require 3 level 8 monsters to Xyz summon. Both are based off a lion and a king. Landia is a match winner while Leo is a duel winner, and the appearance of this card being a lion sitting on a throne may allude to it being the king of the Gimmick Puppets, just as the lion is said to be the king of the jungle. Now for the C monsters, number C15, Gimmick Puppet Giant Hunter. So this is the first Gimmick Puppet Xyz monster with a rank higher than 8. This is the first number C monster to have less defense than its original form. This card's attack and defense are also the inverse of its original form, and this card is the first machine type number C monster, as well as the first number C monster used by Quattro. Number C40, Gimmick Puppet of Dark Strings. So this is the number C version of number 40 Gimmick Puppet of Strings. This is the third number C monster summoned through rank up that doesn't have Chaos Overlay units but has regular purple ones. Number C88, Gimmick Puppet Disaster Leo. This is the first released Xyz monster that cannot be Xyz summoned in the usual way, instead requiring a rank up magic spell card to be summoned. Strangely, it still has the usual material requirements, 4 level 9 monsters printed on the card, despite the fact it can never be summoned that way. New Order 13, Etheric Amon, an anime only card, also cannot be normally Xyz summoned, but does have the material requirements printed on the card. This card's body somewhat resembles a grenade, possibly referencing its highly destructive effect. In the anime as well, when this card has no Xyz materials left, the red cross-hatch patterns on its body begin to glow and pulse vibrantly, as if it's about to detonate, referencing its automatic win effect. And with that, guys, that's another episode of Yu-Gi-Oh! Trivia done. Let me know what you thought in the comment section below. Don't forget to leave a like, and thanks a lot for watching.